Hi, my name is Jessica Freeman, and I am presenting part of Element 7, Organizing Students to Interact with New Knowledge. So the first part of this is grouping for active processing. The article says, or the book says, processing new information in small groups gives students the opportunity to observe the different ways in which their classmates may be processing the same information. They had a lot of interesting things in just this short element, and I'll talk about a few of them. So their grouping strategies, they mentioned that you could group students in pairs or in three or four. They did not recommend going above four, and I would agree with that as well. You could choose a couple different ways. You could randomly just put people somewhere and they end up where they end up. Or you could group by how well the students understand the material. You could choose to group people together who understand well, all in the same group, and people who don't understand well, all in the same group. Or you could mix various levels together so that someone who doesn't understand is paired with someone who does understand. But how do you know which strategy to use? Well, obviously, the first is classroom management. You know who not to pair together, so do that. But then it's also the expectations of the students and the lesson goals. If you're expecting every student to do something specific, then maybe you want them paired with someone really smart who can help them reach a certain goal. Or maybe your lesson goal is to work with the four lowest kids. Then you want those four lowest kids grouped together. So really how to group your students is based on what you want to accomplish in the lesson. You are able to make groups using technology. The article or book specifically mentions TeamMaker, but you can also use Canvas, or at our district in PowerSchool, our seating chart can also make groups. When I Google searched TeamMaker, I didn't see anything that was like teammaker.com, but they had a few other options that seemed to create groups. So they had randomlists.com, they had Kemic, I don't actually know how to pronounce that, and they had contentpicker.com. Those were kind of the top three ways to generate groups. And then as well as Canvas, you can make groups in Canvas where you can have the students choose their group, or you can choose their group as well. You can choose it in partners, or if you want more than two people, groups of 3 or 4. When students are already in their group, they can then use technology for whatever project or task they are working on. An individual student could take notes on what his or her group member is talking about, or the whole group could have a scribe who takes notes for the group. Also, groups can work together on a single document. So some collaboration tools or ways they can do that is Google Drive has a ton of ways to work together, as well as Canvas. The article specifically mentioned MindJet, and I also really like Padlet as another option where students can collaborate together on the same project. Then finally, it ended with questioning. Work in groups to create questions for other students. This was a really cool idea where students had to, or the concept was that students came up with questions for other people in the class. Then they could pose the question through technology, maybe make their own Kahoot, or make their own Canvas presentation, or make their own Nearpod, or something else. And then the rest of the class can respond with a clicker or a poll if it was a Google form, or a text input if it was a Nearpod assignment, or whatever else, whatever other strategy the students decided to come up with. Thank you very much for watching my presentation.